Okay, here we go. Scratch race. Mike Bast, Steve Bast, I believe in this, myself. I got a good start. I'm out in front. And Larry Heinzelman's in second. Mike Bast is in third. This was at San Gabriel. It's a pretty cool track. It was by the 605 freeway, and it only ran for like a couple of years. Yeah, he got a win.
Who was that guy chasing you down?
No, that was a guy named Larry Heinzelman. Larry was a Class C flat track guy. He was a very good friend of Sonny Nutter's. They were good buddies for a very, very long time. He was a finished carpenter. I think did finish work carpentry. He was a good rider though. And that track, San Gabriel, was on Saturday afternoons, I believe, or maybe it was Sundays. I'm not sure. I think it was Saturdays. And it was run by a guy named Johnny Gibson. And Johnny Gibson was a really good racer in his own right back in the 50s on the flat track. And he crashed real hard, and he had a nickname. He was called Crashwell Johnny Gibson. And but Johnny was a great guy and a very, very accomplished racer in his day. He loved Speedway, and he always wanted to have a Speedway track, and he managed to have one for a couple of years.
Very good. Oh, he was good. He was hunting you down. You won that scratch main.
I did.
You're good. You're good. Who was the first number 3 rider in the modern day Speedway world? And go ahead and make a comment, and we're going to wait and see who can get this answer. Okay, we'll keep going with the show.
All right.
So we had some other tracks. You rode all these weird. First of all, getting back to what is it called? Southgate. Was that like on the 605 freeway in Southgate with that song? Is it 605 freeway in Southgate? Is that the same song?
It was called San Gabriel. It was San Gabriel Speedway, and it was off the 605 freeway, but it was up. If I remember right, this is a long time ago. It was above the 60 freeway, but maybe before the 10. But it was just nothing out there. It was just wide open area, and and they built this. Johnny, they had property that he could use, I guess, and they built this track. And I think Steve Evans, a guy named Steve Evans, was also involved in that as well. But then we went on to have Irwindale, which was out that way as well. That became like the next track that was out that way, which was really a good track. It was right on there where the drag strip is. It was that was a fun track to ride. It was a D-shaped track, and a lot of good races out there.
Nice. But that's not the Steve Evans that's today. It's a different Steve Evans. Correct?
No, yeah, this Steve Evans was involved with I think Irwindale Raceway, I believe, and it was a long time ago.
Crawfish, red rice and beans, hush puppies. Half the fun of this race, David, is sampling the great Louisiana food. I just got me a plate of jambalaya, and I'll tell you, it is delicious. And when you talk jambalaya in this part of Louisiana, you're talking about this man they call Shake. Shake, what is in this jambalaya?
Wasn't he an announcer or something, or was he just a promoter? I thought there was a guy named Steve Evans that was an announcer. Was that the same guy?
Did. You're right. He did do some announcing. Is right. Yeah,
I remember that name, Steve Evans. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was very good.
Announcer. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, you said that name, and I said Steve Evans. I heard that name.
Yeah, he did announcing. Yeah, him and Bruce Flanders did announcing, and then of course Larry Huffman. There was he was the first and foremost announcer.
Nice.
He was the guy that got everybody excited. He was the man when it came to Costa Mesa and racing, and Larry Huffman was he had a big part of the excitement that he generated, with all the riders and all the nicknames, Boogaloo Bobby Schwartz,
Boogaloo Bobby Schwartz,
Berserko Danny
number
Becker,
22 Danny Berserko Becker,
Wild Bill Cody.
number 41 Wild Bill Cody.
It's so funny because if you know Bill, he's anything but wild, and but he had all the great names for all these guys.
Well, the first announcer at Costa Mesa, I believe, was Bruce Flanders. He announced for a few years, and then they canned him, and then they brought over Larry Huffman. Is that correct?
I don't think so. I think Larry was the guy that started it, and then they brought in Bruce. Yeah, Larry was the guy. I remember him. I could be wrong. I think defer to being 71 now, so I was only 18 then. So there's a lot of years, and things kind of get a little mixed up every now and then, but. I'm pretty sure Larry was the guy, and I don't think Bruce used to race. Bruce was a rider.
Yeah, he was.
He was a rider. He wasn't. I hate to say he wasn't really all that good, but he had fun, and but his calling was definitely announcing. He became very successful in that, and in a lot of different venues, so a lot of different genres of racing as well. So he was, and that. Flanders family has been in the motorcycle business for over 100 years, selling accessories. Even to this day, John and Paul, they were all part of that Flanders family, and their dad was a big wheel with the AMA for many, many years.
That's great. Yeah, they were really good. I think Bruce was like ranked number 17th. So number 17th in the nation, Bruce Flanders. So
for announcing?
No, as a motorcycle rider, he was. No. I think he had 17. Was he not that good?
No.
Okay, I read it wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you read that correct. He was more like I think he was more like the third and second division rider most of his career.
Oh, so he was more of a second and third division rider. Oh. Okay, well I read the wrong article, let me tell you. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and move on here. We're going to forget about what we just talked about.
Too much sunshine in the Philippines.
Huh?
You got too much sunshine there in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's like making me go crazy.